Okay, I think we're back. I think we're good. Let me know if you guys are all here. If you're joining us, jump into this one. Guys, we're trying. And there's no reason whatsoever for that to be that way. So I can't tell who is on here and who is not. There we go. They're all coming in now. Courtney's here. Haley's here. Laura's here. Everybody's jumping in. So we're going to try to do this slightly different. When those lights were on, that showed up better. Oh, okay. So they're all coming in now. Join us on this one. I'm going to give a couple minutes. Guys, we have no idea. There's no reason why it goes from one week to another, why it works some days and why it doesn't work. We apologize. It's just going to come from a different angle now. Is there a way to set this up higher? No, we'll just. Anybody want to hold this? We had all this stuff set up. Like we actually practiced it. We rehearsed it. It was good to go. But I think we can still do a little bit of a game here. I know it looks like we just lost half our crowd already, though. They're all starting to chime in. If you're joining us, next, just say hi real quick. If you're all getting in, oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So they're all slowly starting to pile back in. I know, I'm trying to get my head down. Here we go. We're gonna raise up the camera. This is, we went through. We're so professional and normally. You want it like that? Let's do a little bit higher. Perfect. All right, there. How's that? Is that better, everybody? I think that'll work for everybody. Is that better? Yeah. Flip's making fun of everything here. I'm sorry, Flip. All right. I didn't want to get a full up the nose look there. Here we go. Oh my gosh, guys. We're trying. Is everything sounding good? Are we no more lag? Are we good? Just let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. All right. They say it's working now. We're back on. We're good to go. And some of the people, it's amazing. It looks like we lost a few in the process, but they're all joining us. Here we go. Hey, we are going to go ahead and just pick right up where we left off. And so we had Carson and Ethan were introing and welcoming us. Carson had a whole rant prepared about TikTok, possibly getting, just the boot. Carson, do you want to share your thoughts about TikTok? No, we lost the moment. She was all ready and hyped up. And for those of you that enjoy TikTok, enjoy it because it's going to die pretty soon. It's gone. And she had a whole thing about it. Ethan, you don't use TikTok, do you? You do use TikTok? All right. I'm okay if it dies because I don't use it at all. Hey, we're just going to go and jump into a couple of quick announcements. So here's the deal. We have something big coming up, and it's called Reset. It is going to come up on August 15th. August 15th is going to be our Reset week in one day. All right, our single day. And I don't know if that graphics is going to be backwards on their screen or not. Does it flip it or is it just on my screen? Just on your screen. Okay, good. So if you can see some of this information there, what we're going to be doing is Reset's going to be on August 15th, one full day. You're going to get here bright and early that day, and we are going to have an entire week's worth of camp all on one single day. I actually have a meeting with a bunch of the other youth pastors tomorrow. And it's going to be so good to see them because a lot of these guys, if you've joined us for Camp Revolution the past few years, a lot of them from the same churches. In fact, the majority of them, like over half of Camp Revo churches and youth groups, they're all going to be at this thing. And so we are super excited just to get together and start planning this stuff out. So if you were at Camp Revo a few years ago, some of you high school students might remember the group called Far From Ordinary. Do you remember them, Carson? The improv group that came? Yeah, so it was an improv group, but one year they did improv, then the next year they came back and they were also our camp speaker. And Andrew and I think it was one of our favorite camp speakers. They are so funny, but they also, man, they can teach, and they did an awesome job. And we have a guy named Micah Christopher. Micah Christopher is just a new artist coming up. You can actually find Micah Christopher on Spotify and on YouTube. So if you want to just kind of listen to some of his stuff, he's really, really good. He's going to come up and do our worship. And you can see that also comes with a Reset t-shirt. For those of you that are like, I'm not even going to get a camp shirt this year, you are. It's going to be awesome. I don't know if those are going to be the colors or not, but we are, that's what we're moving forward on. So we are hoping we can just have hundreds of students right here at First, all on one day. And then if we are allowed to, if everything works out, on Saturday night, mid-school, that night, you guys are going to go home, high school. For the first time ever in a long time, we're going to have a high school lock-in here that night, and then we'll all go to church about that. Are you guys, you're good with that?
I'm going to be here.
Ethan's going to be here. He's ready for it. So it's going to be a good time, guys. Now, I know there's a lot going on, and I know right now it's like we're wearing masks, and we have to stay 6 feet away from other people, and is this going to work out? We are hoping, all right? We are hoping. And right now, we're just going to move forward and plan like it's going to happen. Here's what's going to take place, though. Worst case, you don't have to sign up for this. You don't have to pay for it until the week before. I'm going to have you register. You're going to start signing up now, but you don't have to pay for it until the week before August 15th, and that's when your money is all going to be due. So that's not going to cost you anything yet. And if we have to change things, let's say this masks and COVID is still just ruining everybody's entire year. If we have to change anything, we'll just bump it back into the fall, and we will use that for like a big October thing or September thing. So we've already talked to the band. We've already talked to Far From Ordinary, our speaking group, and they've all agreed and said, hey, if we have to move it, we'll just save our deposit and we'll come back. We'll come back in the fall and we'll just do a big, so it's going to happen. It's going to happen one way or the other. We're going to do this, and it just depends if it's in August. But we are moving forward like it's going to be in August. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. So these forms are actually online right now. Right now, you can go to fbcbluesprings.org, and our forms are online. So you can start registering now just to let us know, hey, I plan on being there. I want to be there. And so we are hoping everything gets lifted and it works out. And so Jay says if we have to cancel it, everybody can go over to Jay's house. So Jay, we're looking at like 300 plus people, so party at Jay's house if we can't have it here. And tomorrow, though, you're like, oh, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait until August to get together and see friends. Can we do anything? The answer is yes. Starting tomorrow, we are going to start life groups here at the church at First. So for some of you, you're like, I haven't even been to the church in 6 months. Tomorrow is your day. You're going to join us. Just get dropped off right at the top of the stairs like you normally would if you came here on Wednesday nights or Sunday mornings. Come in there, and we'll either be outside or inside. If we come inside, you do need to wear a mask. If you have a mask, bring a mask with you. If you don't, we'll give you one, and you can wear it while you come inside. Girls, all high school and mid-school girls, we're going to meet at 6:30. You're all going to come here, guys. Same for you. But ladies, you guys are all going to get, kind of go do your own thing. And you guys, through the next 4 or 5 weeks, you're going to be looking at stuff that is just kind of focused on what it means to be a young woman and the difficulties and things and challenges that you guys deal with. Guys, mid-school and high school guys, we're going to meet together and kind of look at things that guys deal with and struggle with. And then we're going to kind of have some teaching and discussion and stuff. And then when we do that, we will break into smaller groups. So high school guys, you're going to go off with a leader, high school or mid-school guys, and then same thing with the girls. And we'll kind of change up everything. And so that's kind of the plan starting tomorrow, just through July, and we may change some stuff up in August. But that's everything. Here's the deal. Life groups are super important, and we want you to be there. And I'm going to have my friend Ethan is going to come up and just share real quick why life groups are good for him. So I got a social distance for Ethan to let him come on.
What's up, guys? All right, so tomorrow, life groups, first off, it's going to be here. So, you might as well come because we haven't been here in, 4 months and 13 days? I've been counting because I miss it so much. But it's a great time to connect with leaders you haven't seen, besides on Zoom. That doesn't really count because, you haven't actually seen them. But, it's a great time to catch up with everyone and get to know everyone again. And our 8th graders coming into high school, they're going to be with high school. All right, 8th graders, you're going to be with the high school and then yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's changed my life. Life groups have. You know, I met a lot of new people, got a lot of closer with a lot of people. But so yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So now we jumped into a real quick game. It should work. But we're gonna see. So Lexi, come on up here.
Okay, guys, so we're going to play a quick game. We'll see how this goes. It's holiday or not holiday. So are you guys going to text go? Are we doing that?
You're just going to say.
I'm going to say go. So don't go until I say go. If it is a holiday, you're going to give a thumbs up. If it's not a holiday, you're going to give a thumbs down. Now, if you win, Rob is going to give you a free pass to reset. And I promise you, he will give you this gift. Okay, so let's get into the first one. Remember, holiday is a thumbs up, not a holiday is a thumbs down, and I will say go. The first one is Chick-fil-A Cow Appreciation Day. It's in July. Oh, all these holidays are in July. Okay, ready? Go. What do you guys think it is?
It's definitely a holiday.
I hope it is.
Courtney Cox got it with the.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Courtney Cox got that one with the true. That's a holiday. Huh? Okay, what's our next one?
The second.
Isn't that awesome that that's a holiday? A Cow Appreciation Day. It's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, go get some Chick-fil-A for your Cow Appreciation Day.
Here's the next one.
Okay, the next one is Go to Work in Shorts Day. Do you think that is a real holiday? Ready? Go. I was like, I wear shorts. I feel like all high school guys wear shorts to school every day, no matter what the weather is like outside.
Jay got it.
Jay got it with a false. That is not a holiday. That's sort of a bust.
Yeah. All right.
What's our next one?
Let's go.
The next one is Make a Lemonade Stand Day. Do you guys think that's a holiday or not a holiday? Ready? Go. I don't think that's a holiday. You can make lemonade stands
Rachel
every day.
Myers got it.
Rachel Myers got it with a false. So who do we have? Rachel, Jay, and who was the first one?
Courtney.
Courtney. Okay, let's see what our next one is.
This is.
Be nice to New Jersey Week.
I refuse.
Okay, true or false? Ready, go. I about said New York when I read that.
Kelly and Macias.
Kelly and
Yes.
Macias. That's a
It's
holiday?
the first full week of July.
It's the first full week of July. Be nice to New Jersey Week.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Start.
It's okay.
Let's go. Here.
Worldwide Popsicle Day. Do you think that's a holiday or not? Ready, go. I sure hope that's a holiday. Oh, well, worldwide. U.S. holiday? I can see that.
Jay
Jay got that with a false. That is not a holiday. Jay has two. We do not need to be giving Jay a free pass to reset.
Let's keep going.
We're going to keep going.
All right, here we go.
Don't step on a bee day. Do you guys think so? That's a holiday or not a holiday? Ready, go. I don't feel like that'd be a holiday. That's just like a don't step on a bee. That's going to hurt.
Myers.
Rachel Myers got it with a true.
Yeah, it's July 10th.
That's July 10th. Do not step on a bee
Friday.
on Friday. Do not step on a bee on Friday.
All right, and then we're going to do one more.
We're going to do one more. Take your houseplant on a walk day. Do you think that's true or false? Put a leash on a plant and just walk it down your street? Oh, ready, go. Sorry, I did not say go.
Oh, I think Kelly got it actually.
I didn't say go, so my bad.
That's all right, but Kelly answered it first.
Kelly got
It
it?
is a holiday.
On July 27th, walk your houseplant.
Mom Barnett. The day after baseball season starts. Mom Barnett.
Nice. So who won that? Jay's got two. Are we giving you?
But she's a student, so she might have another one.
I think all the students got one. Kelly got one. Jay got two. I think she got one.
All right, one more.
Rachel had two.
Last
one. Sorry. What is this? Guys in Speedos Day. Hey, do you think that's a holiday or not a holiday? Ready, go.
Haley Gregory.
Haley Gregory got that one. Is that not a holiday? That'd be weird.
So is there a tie? Rachel got two, didn't she? Rachel and Jay. All right.
Rachel and Jay.
I got a tiebreaker for Rachel.
He's got a tiebreaker. I guess we're doing Rachel and Jay.
All right, here's what it is. When is Be a Dork Day?
It's a real holiday.
When is Be a Dork Day? Hint, it's in July.
Whoever's closest gets the point.
Okay, so Rachel and Jay, when do you think, when is Be a Dork Day? It's in July, so say a date.
Yeah, type in the actual date.
Type in the actual date.
Rachel just said the 21st.
Okay.
Jay said the 18th.
It's the 15th, July 15th. Jay wins. Does that mean he's getting a free pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay gets a free pass.
For free.
Alrighty, what are we going into now? Some scripture? Some teaching? Okay, let's do it.
Oh man, we run a professional show up here today, guys. No bumper video. We're just gonna go right into it. Jay Cram, congratulations! You get to come to Reset for free. I'll probably put you to work. But let's give that. Who came in second place on that one? Rachel Myers.
Yeah.
Rachel, I'm gonna give you Jay's gift. Oh, he already gave it to somebody. He gave it to Haley Gregory. Haley Gregory, congratulations. I didn't realize you get to go for free if you could be there. Reset weekend, August 15th. Haley Gregory's going to be there. One person. Get signed up tomorrow, Haley. Get signed up tomorrow. Guys, you can go online and get those forms. I think you can sign up online. If not, you can print them off and drop them off tomorrow at Life Groups. Join us tomorrow at Life Groups. So hey, this is so weird because I wasn't we're just jumping right into stuff really quick. I'm gonna kind of speed things up just a little bit. We're gonna do a little recap. All right, we're gonna have a little recap in the chat room right now. Other than a leader, somebody tell us. We've been going through a story of a guy's life. Who is that person? Who is that person? Give me one thing. Give me one person. We've been going over one guy's life over the past 4 weeks for a month. Who's that one person? You don't count. One person. Anybody in the chat, answer it right now. Come on, guys. There it is. My man Keegan. My man Keegan says, Joseph. Keegan, you get to bring someone for free to Reset. I'm just throwing out Reset stuff. Keegan, bring somebody for free. It's got to be a friend, though. It's got to be a friend. Oh, I forgot to we didn't even talk about that part. If you bring someone that's brand new, that's never been, they go for $10, all right? They go for $10. So, Keegan, you get to invite a friend for free, all right? No, you cut out. What do you mean I cut out? My audio cut out? Hold on, Keegan. Somebody don't mess with me on this one. Can you guys still hear me? Turn up your volume. Can you hear it? Am I good? Okay, I don't know what it said up. It said no, you cut out, but we can hear it here on ours. All right, we're good. I don't know what happened there, Keegan, on your end. Hey, we've been talking about this guy, Joseph, all right? And we have been kind of looking at what it means to have a big picture in life. And so sometimes there's things where it's you may go through junk that's in your life, and you can't figure out, why am I going through this? And we looked at Joseph's life, and Joseph had a dad that treated him better than everybody else, and his brothers didn't like it. And so we looked at how that started creating a lot of havoc and just garbage in their family and what that can look like, thinking big picture and how we treat people. And then we looked at how the brothers hated Joseph so much, they beat him up, and they sold him into slavery. And then they went back to the dad and was like, oh, he got killed by an animal? And then they gave him some of his clothes. And so now you got Joseph, who's like, I haven't done anything wrong. My brothers hate me because of my dad. He's off and got sold into slavery. Had all this stuff happen. He worked for this guy who had a shady wife, tried to make the right choices, and then ended up back in a prison. He was like, I've done, none of these things were my fault. In fact, repeatedly over and over in Scripture in Genesis says, but the Lord was with Joseph. God was with Joseph this entire time. But man, if you're Joseph, though, you couldn't see that. You couldn't see what was going on in your life. For you guys out there, if you've ever had anything bad take place to you, maybe by somebody like a friend or something, did you do anything to get even with them? Like, did you ever want to have like revenge or like a little bit of payback where you like started planning stuff of like, oh, my brother did this and I'm gonna get him back by doing this, or I'm gonna blame him for something here? Like, has that ever happened to any of you guys out in the chat room? If you got like type something up there real quick if that's any of you guys out there right now, if you've ever had something like that happen to you, where somebody's been bad and you tried to get even with them. You wanted payback. Or just like, yeah, I've wanted payback, but I was too chicken to do it. Is that anybody out there at all? No one's responding. Either you guys are lying or you're just really good people. Well, there we go. Haley's like, yep, me. You ever did anything really bad to any of your roommates in college, Andrew? Like, did you ever get really mad at anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Did you ever do anything for payback?
Against Matt, no.
All right. Yeah, some of you. I don't want to go into too much details, and I'm really embarrassed to even share this before. I might have shared this at one time. One of my roommates, I did not get along super well with him in college, and he ended up not living with us anymore. Like, he moved out after a semester, and me and these 3 other guys ended up with new roommates, and we ended up all being good friends. But this one guy for one semester, we just didn't get along really well with him, and we had to share a bathroom with him, and he was always messing with stuff, and just not a nice guy, nice person with us. And I got really mad at him once, and I was like, man, I'm sick of this. And we shared a restroom and shower and toilet that was like in between all of our rooms. And he had a washcloth, and I just took his washcloth and I dipped it in the toilet. And it was his face washcloth. And I dipped it in our toilet, and then I hung it back up where it was. And he didn't know it. And I just remember seeing him that night washing his face, like he took it out and was washing his face in the sink. And in a moment, I was like, I felt really bad. But at that point, I was like, I can't say anything now because that was terrible. Moral of the story is revenge doesn't pay off. I felt like such a jerk because it was a jerk thing to do. So don't ever do that. In fact, anybody's stuff, don't ever dip anything in anybody's toilet. Ever, period. I think we can all agree on that. Have you guys ever done that?
No.
Right now, they're all saying they have. Every single one of them. Ethan just said he dips his brother's toothbrush in toilet every night. Every night. He's like, I know this one's for you, Shane. Not really. So we can have these moments of like payback and stuff. And we want to see Joseph had this moment where he could have gotten revenge on everybody. Because remember, eventually, Joseph ended up helping out some guys that worked really closely with Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was the guy over all of Egypt. You've seen the pyramids and these pictures and stuff. And so he ends up helping out Pharaoh because these guys are like, Pharaoh, this guy named Joseph, he can help you with this. He helps out Pharaoh. And Pharaoh is so incredibly impressed with Joseph that he's like, you are going to have a lot of power. I'm going to put you in charge of a lot of things here. And he puts Joseph in charge of kind of running like your everyday stuff throughout Egypt. And so a lot of time went by, but he built up a ton of trust with him. And here's what takes place. Egypt eventually went into a big famine, which means it didn't rain in it for a long time, and all their crops, everything was dying. And so they had stored up all this food for people. They're like, people are going to come to us hungry because there's a famine throughout the land. And so when people come for food, Joseph, you're in charge of giving all these people food. And so people were traveling from all over to Egypt, and because of that, like, they needed food. And so they were coming to Joseph for this stuff. And so now you jump way over to Joseph's family, his brothers that have not seen Joseph for years and years. I mean, they're probably like, he probably really is dead. We just sold him off into slavery years ago. Haven't heard from him since. Well, back in their hometown, their dad's like, hey, we don't have anything. People are flocking to Egypt because the government's giving out food. You need to go get food. Go get us stuff. And so the brothers go to Egypt to get food. Well, guess who's in charge of all that food? Joseph. Big picture. Joseph is put into this whole area, and all of these things have led up to Joseph being in charge of this stuff. So the brothers come in here, and they are about to like kind of see what's going to take place. And so We can have this idea, this whole point of like getting even or revenge. And sometimes when things happen that we don't understand, we can get angry about it. And you can kind of like hold in that bitterness and that resentment and get mad at somebody. And this plays out. Sometimes it's just like you do it on purpose. Like you just start, like getting on that person, posting stuff, spreading rumors. Maybe it's just like kind of being mean to them, but you don't really tell them you're angry. Or a lot of times, I know for me, like I get mad at somebody and I'll just play these things in my head on how I want to get revenge. And really it's just bringing up garbage in my heart because I'm like, I don't understand why these things took place to me. And I have a reason to be mad at them. And I allow that bitterness and anger to build up in me. And Joseph could have done that. He could have had this situation where he sees his brothers and they're coming to him for this need. And they don't even realize that it's Joseph. They haven't seen him for so long. And so he kind of messes with them for a little bit at the beginning. And then he finally has this moment where he just couldn't take it any longer. In Genesis chapter 5, verse 1, it said, Joseph couldn't stand it any longer. There were all these people in the room. And he said to his attendants, out, all of you, like everybody get out. And he was alone with his brothers. And he told them who he was. And he broke down. And Joseph was the one weeping. Joseph was crying because of all this junk that had happened. And here he is, like, still not even understanding, like, why did you guys do this to me in the first place? Why? What happened here? And so he's crying, and he tells his brothers, I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? Like, he's worried about his dad. And his brothers were speechless, and they were stunned, and they realized that Joseph was standing in front. Imagine being those brothers. Like, they come to Egypt, and Joseph's in charge of all the food, in charge of everything. And the last time Joseph was around them, they beat him. They thought they were going to kill him. They beat him to a bloody mess and then sell him off to a stranger as a slave. And here they are. Joseph's like this powerful guy over this whole land. Joseph could have immediately chop off all their arms and legs and then send them out to the street. Like, that's the type of power Joseph could have had. And so these brothers are there. And Joseph just says, hey, come here. So they come closer, and he says, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. You can live in this region where you can be near me with all your children and grandchildren. You can bring all of your flocks and herds, bring everything you own. You can live here in Egypt, this whole area that I'm in charge over. I'll take care of you there, and you can live here because there's still a lot of famine ahead, and I want to take care of you. He says, otherwise, your household and everything, your animals, are all going to starve. So come here to Egypt. Now, that's crazy. Joseph had this opportunity to get revenge, to allow that anger and bitterness, all this stuff that he didn't understand. He could have just lashed out on all of them. But Joseph started seeing a big picture and say, hey, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here right now. So I want you to move closer. Go get our dad. Let's figure this stuff out. And Joseph chose forgiveness, even in times when he didn't fully understand everything. And I think that's a huge point. When we don't understand what's taking place, instead of choosing anger and just garbage to fill our hearts, and like, I got to get them back and I got to do this, instead of allowing that junk in our life, just choosing to forgive. And I don't know why that happened to me, and I don't know why they did that, but I'm going to forgive that person. And that's a huge, and it's really easy to say, and it's not always easy to actually live out. But when we allow, like if Joseph had allowed bitterness and anger into his life, he might not have been placed in the position he was in. And Joseph allowed that to be more of a part of him because God was with Joseph. And so I think that's just kind of a cool thought that, like, no matter what life throws at you guys, you have a choice. So if a bunch of bad junk happens to you and you don't know what's going on, you have a choice on how you handle that. You have a choice to allow that to ruin everything, or to try to figure out, how do I get through this? To look to God, or to look in anger and be mad about stuff and just, let it ruin everything. And just see how Joseph was constantly looking to God. And even in this situation, he could have chose anger and hatred, but he chose forgiveness. And because of that, like, here's this big, you look at big picture, because in that moment, God, like, Joseph chose to do what was right. Joseph chose to love, and Joseph chose forgiveness over getting angry and being bitter and mad and revenge. Because of that, all of this family, all these people, all these brothers and their families and their like cousins and everybody, they all moved to Egypt. And this would become the Hebrew people. And the Hebrew people over the next course of the next few decades and years and years and years, they are going to grow and grow and grow. In fact, they grow so much that a few pharaohs from now, like down the road, this guy's like, there's so many Hebrew people here, they might overpower us. We need to make slaves of them. And all these Hebrew people, what would start out as just Joseph's family, they would become the slaves over Egypt, which God would use Moses to set free. Which when Moses set them free, it would change the course of history because those people would become the nation of Israel, which the entire Old Testament sets up, which sets up who Christ is to all of us. Joseph had no idea when this junk was happening in his life that God was putting something in motion, using other people's sin, using other people's mistake. But because Joseph made choice after choice to do the right thing and to follow God, God used something that would change the world. All because of Joseph chose God instead of choosing his own heart and choosing anger and bitterness. So it's such this, like, you look big picture, there are some huge things happening. And so what we want to do, though, is look at how do we do that? Because it's easier to say than do. And so I want you to think start small. Like start about like little ways of forgiving people. Little things when like your brother or sister jump up and turn off Xbox because it's a game that you're winning or they want to do something different. You're like, I could get mad. I'm going to choose the right thing. Or choosing peace when it's stuff dealing with your parents or fights going on or arguments between you and your friends. Choose to forgive first, even if someone doesn't deserve it. Because you are making a choice. I'm not going to allow them to ruin me, to allow anger in my life. I'm going to choose forgiveness. And just pursuing that forgiveness. Maybe you need to ask somebody to forgive you because you're going to be like, I want to be the one that does that. These are all kind of easy things to say, but things we need to practice. And so, guys, I really want to encourage you, go to your Zoom groups. I know sometimes you're like, man, I'm so tired of Zoom groups. I just want to cut out. But your leaders are here and they want to meet with you guys. They want to see you just for a few minutes. So go to your Zoom groups here and kind of talk about like some of those things that's really difficult to do. And how do we pursue that? How do we make those right choices? How do we choose forgiveness and choose to love people and choose these things when we're in situations that we don't understand sometimes? And how do we allow God to work through those things? So this was kind of our final week on Big Picture. So kind of wrap it all up. Do you want to put the slide up for there? Hopefully you guys can see the Zoom groups. We might have to Zoom.
Oh, what grade is going with another grade?
Yeah, so we have, I believe, 8th grade girls. You guys are going to go with 8th grade girls are going to go with 7th grade girls, I believe. And 11th grade girls, you're joining sophomore girls tonight as well.
You probably need to move the computer as close as you can.
I'm going to try to move. There, is that better? It's all backwards. I can't.
It's not backwards though.
I know it. Am I cutting? I feel like there. Good. So follow those, get to those addresses there. Did you change 8th grade, guys? Okay. So hopefully everybody can get on those, guys. Have a good night. Get into your Zoom groups, and we will see, hopefully, all of you tomorrow night right up here.
Sorry, guys. Good job, team. Oh, shoot. I just closed it.
Hopefully you guys got all that because we just closed everything out. If you did not see where you're supposed to be at, let us know so we can make sure you get into your groups there.
Go back.
Just everybody say hi. They get to see everybody. Carson had a role. She was up there earlier. Put your masks on. They had masks on. Please don't send me like angry problems.
We were 6 feet apart.
They were 6 feet apart. Look how far apart they are. So far apart. All right. Sorry. All right. Hopefully everybody knows where they're going. Does anybody need anything? Is everybody good? Yeah. Right, I got 20 people still on here, so I'm just making sure. If anybody doesn't know what group to go to, let me know right now real quick so we can make sure you get to your right Zoom group. They're all slowly filing out. I'm gonna wait 5 more seconds. 4, 3. Okay, guys, we're gonna see everybody later. Hopefully you know what you're doing. Have a great week. See you tomorrow.